Are you saying hello?
Hello? You didn't give me the hey Duke. Hey Duke. I guess not.
That's all right.
I was distracted by Duke. You want to come up and say hi?
What is not to be distracted about?
Come on. No, you're not going to try it, huh? He's not going to try it. Hello, everybody. It is Saturday night. There's Daisy. Hello, Daisy. I am Robin. Behind the camera and the computer is Bill. We are Raincross Farms Makery coming to you for another fun night of crafting. So, well, hello, stranger. Say hello if you are new or if you haven't been on in a while. Pop on, say hello, tell us where you're from. And I am looking for the live to pull up on my phone. Hey, Patty. How is, hopefully everybody had a great start to your weekend. We had a lazy day here, lots of napping, especially among the fur babies. So, let's see, what did we do yesterday? Yesterday we did our little plastic pot, and this we did with chalk. This is Dollar Tree plastic plant pot, fake flowers, but who needs to know? Okay, so live life in full bloom, and we've got some flowers and some leaves on the back. And then we also did it another way. We put ink on a clay pot, terracotta pot. And I had never done it before. The ink went down really well, and then I heat set it today, and it is just awesome. That is in place. That is solid. It's not scratching off. So ink works on clay pots. So bonus. So that was an update on last night's project. Let's see who else. Hello, Cherie. Welcome. So tonight, let me give you your marching orders. We would so appreciate it if you would give us a heart or give us a thumbs up for this video. If you would follow our page if you're not already following. If you're watching on your phone, you can click up at the top of the phone, like up at my forehead, and click on where it says Raincross Farms Makery. Hit those 3 dots and you will be given the option to follow our page, or you can turn on notifications so you get notified when we go live, or you can even favorite our page so it comes up more frequently in your feed. And we would also love it if you would share our video out with craft groups you're part of or friends and family that you think would like to see the fun stuff that we do. It's been such a long day. It's my daughter-in-law's birthday, and we took over goodies early, and we've been going since then. Long day, long days. Yeah, but that's every day's Saturday, right, Patty? Yep. So you have my permission to put your feet up and get yourself a beverage of your choice, and for the next half hour, 45 minutes, just chill out and watch me craft. So we are going to do another project, and we're going to do it both in chalk and in ink. So this is the design I'm picking. It says time to eat. Not time to fat.
Oh, I see. There's a line.
No, time to eat. This is part of our kitchen collection. The kitchen collection has 4 transfers. This is the small one. This is the size A. The size B one is this one we did earlier from the kitchen collection, Blessed Beyond Measure. And then there's a size C and a size D transfer also in the set. So if you're interested in looking at that, you can look at it in the catalog, type catalog in the comments, and you can take a picture. You could take a picture. You can go online and take a look at the catalog and all the awesome awesome new transfers. So this is the one we're going to do tonight. And we're going to put it on two surfaces. One of them we are going to do on chalk. We're going to use our simple little board and base. This is, we sell this in our shop. It comes with a double-sided, and we've already used this, but it comes with a double-sided reusable chalkboard surface, and it comes with this base. It doesn't come with the ribbon. I added the ribbon, but I think that it will still go with our design tonight. If not, we'll pull it off. And I'm going to show you tonight how this can be reusable. So when you're done with something, you can change it up. Comes with this base, super cute. Okay. And then the other thing we're going to do with ink, when we were in Las Vegas, we spent time not visiting casinos, but visiting our favorite stores that we are no longer near now that we've moved up to Idaho. So one of those stores was IKEA. Yay, meatballs. Sweden, you do your meatballs good. Anyway, we were wandering through because they take you through the maze, and we found these Cork trivets. They're called heat. That is their little Swedish word for them, heat. And I thought, what could I do with those? Could I chalk on them? No, chalk wouldn't be very good. Could I ink on them? I don't know. How could I heat set it? Well, if it's a trivet, it's meant to be put under a hot pot, so I better be able to heat set it. So I grabbed a package of these. You get 3 of them. I believe they're $4.99 for 3 of them, so very reasonable. And so I'm going to give inking a try on a Cork trivet. Same transfer. Again with the poor broadcast. Oh, well, we're not doing a poor job. We are all here.
We're all here and we're doing a fine job.
We're doing a great job. All the important people are here. Okay, let's see. Let's start with this one. We're going to do this with chalk, and I'm going to show you how it's reusable. So let's say I want to keep this, but, you know, I'm kind of tired of this, although I'm really not, but I have the transfer. I can redo it. Let me show you how you can take this off and use something else, do something else with this surface. So I'm going to, it's done with paste, and our paste is smudge and budge proof once it's dry. So even though it is made out of chalk, it is solidly on this surface, not coming off, unless I wet it down and rehydrate it. Then I can scrape it off, clean it off, and reuse that surface. So I just sprayed it with a little bit of water. It doesn't, yes, Cricket dear, I'm here. You're good. So I'm going to rehydrate that with a little bit of water. I used distilled water, but I don't have to. I could just use tap water for this. The only time you really need distilled water is if you are putting it in your paste that you plan on using. Hello, Patty number 2 or Patty number 1. We have 2 Patties on tonight. Hello. Okay, so I'm just letting that kind of soak. And now I'm going to take my paste scraper, which is just a little hard plastic. It's kind of got a beveled edge here. If you didn't have one of these, you could use a like the edge of a gift card or credit card or something. And so that has kind of softened up a little bit, and I'm just going to take this and I'm going to start scraping that paste off. So that's what we mean, smudge and budge proof. It wasn't coming off while it was dry, but now that I've re-wet it, it's coming off. And I'm going to get a paper towel. I need some more shop towels. So you can see all those little chunks of paste. Clean this off. And now I'm just going to, with a paper towel, pick up all of that stuff. Now you can kind of see, maybe, you can kind of see that there's still a little bit of the design ghosted on there. No worries. I'm going to take my board eraser, like a magic eraser, but no chemicals. although the chemicals don't really matter on this surface, it matters on the transfers. So you could use a magic eraser on this. But I'm just going to take this, I've dampened it and wrung it out, and I'm just taking that board eraser over that, and that completely removes all of that paste and gives me a brand new surface to chalk on. So I didn't have to take that typewriter and think, oh, okay, I got to store this away till next February because it was kind of Valentine's. What am I going to do with it? And then next Valentine's Day, I can't find it. I can just completely reuse the surface. So, and this, because I was careful, this is still intact. I didn't get it wet. And this is ready to reuse. Pretty fantastic, wouldn't you say? Something I've also used, I probably shouldn't tell you the secret, but this looks an awful lot like this, but this is from the Dollar Tree. This is a one of their little chalkboards. It's also double-sided. The surface is not as nice, and the edges are not finished. And then Bill made this out of a little block of wood and a, what did he call it? A kerf.
The width of that is the curve of my saw
Curve
blade.
of his saw blade. He made a little groove, the width of his saw blade. And so he made a budget version of these. So, but I really like these. Either one would work, but they're roughly the same size. But this one's a little wider, a little more solid, a little better quality, and not too expensive. Okay. So I'm going to do this vertically. Hey, Christina. Good to see you again. You were on last night, I remember. Hopefully our video feed is doing better than it was last night.
No,
Okay, hello.
it's having some problems.
Oh, still, okay.
Some of it was our satellite, but one thing was our satellite, but most of this is not good.
Okay, so I don't need to wax this. It's kind of got a textured surface that works really well, but I am going to fuzz this because it will stick. This is the first time I've used this, so it's very sticky. So I want to tone down that stickiness just a bit, so when I go to pull it off, I don't accidentally stretch it or distort it or disfigure it, which isn't that easy to do, but this is just a little precaution, especially the first time you've used it. Now, I'm going to keep in mind that this bottom edge is going to sit down maybe a half an inch into this frame. So I don't want to, if I center this on the board, it won't look centered when it's down a half an inch. So I want to be up a little bit higher than center. So I think that's good. It looks centered left to right. Okay. So this would be darling in your kitchen, just out near your stove, or I don't know, in your dining room, reminding people time to eat. If you had a potluck or something like that, cute little sign to have out. Okay, so I'm going to do this in paste. So of course I'm going to do the tomato in, well, it's candy apple red, but you could call it tomato red. So I'm going to do the tomato in red and the leaves in green. And this is meadow, so this is our bright Christmassy green color. And then I'm going to do the words in white because that will pop out against that black background. Also, what is new in our new catalog is they have this exact same surface, only it's in white. So if you like the board and base, but you're not so much a big fan of the black background, you can also get it in white. So it's that same quality surface, it's just white. I have ordered one, but it hasn't come in yet. Okay, so let me see.
Christina wants to know where you got your phone holder.
Where my phone holder, this thing, IKEA, couple dollars, that I don't remember. Yes, phone holder. And it comes with two sides, so this one is a little too thin. This would fit if I didn't have my phone in a case. And this one's a little wider, so it fits my phone. So yes, plugs for IKEA. They do a good job. And I have found they are pretty reasonable in their shipping because we are not close to an IKEA. I have purchased a few things, and their shipping is relatively reasonable. Okay, let's see. What do I want to do first? I think I'll do the green. I want to do green. I want to do red. I'm going to do the red. I'm going to do red. Okay, so candy apple red.
Do the red.
And when you open your paste, don't open it over your project because sometimes there's little dried, crusty bits. You don't want it to drop off and mess up your project. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of paste on my squeegee. If you're new, this is Chalkology paste, so it's chalk in paste form, so it's non-toxic. Like I showed you, when it's dry, it's smudge and budge proof. It doesn't just flake off like chalkboard chalk. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to take this paste on my squeegee, and I'm just going to drag it over.
Might be late, Cheryl, but we're glad you're here.
Hey, Cheryl, you're not usually late. You're just sometimes late, and it's always a good reason, right? Okay, so I'm going over the tomato, and I'm taking the excess off, putting it back in my container, and I'm going to do what's called paste and peel because I don't want this paste to dry in my screen. If it dries in the screen, when I go to pull it up, it will pull up the paste, and I don't want that. I want it to stay on the surface. So I'm just going to pull up that area, just that area. Isn't that pretty? Kind of looks like a heart, but it's not. It's a tomato. So I'm just going to hit it with my dryer. It's going to look huge. Quick dry. And I'm going to lay this back down, and I'm not going to push down where I have already chalked. Okay, I'm just going to push down the areas that I still need to chalk. And I'm done with the red paste. Put the lid on, close it up, set it aside. Now I'm going to switch over to the green. And with the green, because it's kind of smaller spaces, I'm going to use my my multi-tool, which is just kind of a long-handled. One end is like a squeegee, so it's kind of a long-handled squeegee, and this end is meant for stirring up your paste, and that little hook gets inside this edge of the jars. But I have found that sometimes I need something that's more like a pencil to get a better quality application. So just with the green, I'm going right up against that red. This green seems kind of thin. May have to leave it out and let it evaporate a bit.
Did you add water to it or something?
No, not this time. I haven't used it since Christmas time, but I'm thinking because it stays down here in the basement and it gets a little chilly, I'm thinking the changes in temperature are changing up the consistency of it maybe a little bit. Don't know, that's my guess. So
Cheryl said it wasn't really good. She was watching WWE pay-per-view.
Oh. Not the Olympics? Not the curling?
I was watching the Swedish and the Swiss curling. Those girls are awesome.
It is a skill set that not everyone has. It's not the most athletic
Got its own
skill.
athleticism to
I
it.
mean, yeah, you have to be coordinated enough to wear the special ice shoes, but okay. So I've got the leaves done, and I'm going to pull that up. Okay, and I'm hoping it didn't bleed because it was thin. It looks pretty good. Okay. And down to these leaves. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to hit it with my dryer. What do you think? Is this something you would have in your kitchen? In your dining room? Cute little sign. This would be awesome. An awesome little gift if you got invited over to someone's house. Cute little hostess gift. You know somebody who's getting married and having a wedding shower, bridal shower. Would be a cute little gift. Someone just starting out, getting a new apartment or something. Okay. So again, I'm not going to push down where I have already chalked. I'm only going to push down where I still need to chalk. And now I'm going to put away my green. Did I say this is meadow green? I have a bright Christmassy green. And now I'm going to use bright white. And it is exactly what it says. It's a bright white. And I'm going to do the words in white. Time to eat. Some of my favorite words. Time to eat. What about you? Do you like hearing the words time to eat?
I always like to eat. Problem is, I'm allergic to it.
Makes you swell up?
Yeah, every time I eat, I swell up.
Okay, my daddy made sure I was a wrestling fan. Bill's grandma was a wrestling fan.
Great-grandmother.
Great-grandmother.
Great-grandmother. If Joanne was on tonight, she'd tell you that she can remember Grandma Jones ripping the arm off her rocking chair while she was watching, what was his name? Pretty Boy George? Pretty something George. He had blonde hair. This is years and years and years, way back in the
Couple
60s.
little dots up here. I don't want to miss those. Okay, so let's see how it goes. I'm going to pull it off slowly, make sure if there's anything I missed or I need to go back over, I can lay it right back down. So far, so good. Time to eat. What do you think? Does that make you hungry just seeing the sign? Okay. So.
Cheryl says that sounds like her Aunt Felicia conked one with a Coke bottle once. Yeah, that's probably something my grandmother would have done.
Let me give this a quick dry so I don't smudge it before it's dry. Then I'm going to clean up this transfer. This one is done. I don't have to do anything else to this. If I was going to put it, I don't know why I put it outside. If it was going to be outside near the elements, or I was afraid it was going to get splashed, I might want to spray it with a clear spray paint. But if you did that, this would no longer be a reusable surface, because then you'd have to take off that paint. But if you ever do anything that you want to put outside where it might get damp or rained on a lot, I would suggest spraying it with some clear spray paint. Okay, so voila. Let's see how this looks with. What do you think with the gingham bow, the gingham ribbon and bow? Do we like? Can you see? Do we like it? You like it too much? Time to eat. Okay, let me show you how to clean the transfers. So I've got this down on a dish drainer, dish dryer. You can just use a towel. This I got from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to start with either a paper towel, or this is called a Swedish dishcloth. It's like a reusable paper towel. It's super sturdy. It works kind of like a paper towel, but you can rinse it out and reuse it and put it in the washing machine. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to get this initial layer of paste off of my transfer. And you can see it doesn't completely come off with this. Like I said, I'm just getting that initial layer off because it saves wear and tear on my board eraser. I showed you the board eraser a little bit earlier when we were cleaning off this. So let me show you. So now I'm going to switch over to my board eraser. Got it damp, wrung it out, wrung it out, squeezed it really tight. And now this is going to get a lot more of that paste off. Now you can see, like around the tomato and around the leaves, it's not coming off. That's because those colors are very highly pigmented and they've stained this plastic portion of the transfer. It doesn't affect its usability. It just doesn't quite look as pretty, but it's still usable. These are meant to be reusable, 10 to 12 times guaranteed by the company. Now you can see I still have some paste in that screen. I need that out or my transfer won't work right the next time. So I flipped it over and I'm getting that paste out so my screen is clear. That's what's important, not what color the plastic is, but is my screen clear? So I think I've got that cleaned up like so. Okay. Now I'm going to reuse it again. Ordinarily, I would tell you, let it air dry and then put it back on its backer sheet. But because I want to use it again on the coaster, I'm going to take just a paper towel while it's wet. Don't try to do this while it's dry or you'll have paper towels stuck to the sticky. But as it's drying, you can use this to dry that off so that we can use it again right away. So that's mostly dry. And I'm going to just kind of wave it around and air dry it. And again, you can take a look. What do you think? Time to eat.
They said adorable and love the bow and love it.
So we are going to do the exact same thing on the coaster, except instead of using white, we're going to use black ink. I think that might show up a little bit better. So let's put that there. And we've got a coaster. And I'm going to fuzz only because I don't want the sticky to pull up the cork, which I think it might do. And I'll have to make sure I really clean the transfer, especially if any of that cork pulls up. But I'm not going to wax it or anything. Magic. My heat press back on. Okay. So again, I'm fuzzing it to cut down on the stickiness. Especially important if you're putting it on a painted surface, especially if it's freshly painted. You don't want the sticky transfer to pull up your paint. Okay. So, and I don't want it to pull up the cork. So let's see. Get this centered. And again, I have never tried this on cork. I don't know why it wouldn't work. So, but there's always live and learn, right? Okay. So I'm pushing that down so there's no air bubbles. Feels smooth. I don't want any little gaps for my ink to bleed out. And so same thing, although my ink gives me a little more drying time. So I'm probably not going to do the paste and pull. I'm just going to get at it and ink this top to bottom, or however I decide to do it, color by color, because the ink doesn't dry as fast. I have a little more working time. So let's start with our red. Again, candy apple red. Most of our paste colors are available in the ink colors, but not all of them. But there is something in every color of the rainbow, you know, of the color wheel in ink. Okay, so candy apple red, again, this is ink, not paste. So this is meant to be permanent, and it needs to be heat set in order for that to happen. So again, I'm going back in. Now with my ink, I'm being careful not to go in multiple directions. I'm trying to just go either top to bottom or side to side. So the angle here, I'm gonna kind of come in just from the sides.
So Alana says, could you paint the cork, and what would you need to keep the cork from melting under the hot pan? I believe that cork is designed to go under hot pans.
I think
what it's
so. I
made
think it's a
for.
trivet meant for handling heat. We'll find out. We're going to find out in a minute or two.
And I know you could paint the cork. One of the things I wanted Robin to try with the cork was to do the, not wood burning, what do you call it?
Etching?
Yeah, wood, or the,
Etching cream?
yeah, putting etching cream on it, like how it burns the wood. And I wanted her to try that on the cork when we picked them up. Because the stuff looks good. We did that in my classroom when we were using the laser. We used cork coasters. We made cork coasters and put, at that time we were doing the Star Wars themed stuff, and we put TIE fighters on them and X-Wing fighters on them and Darth Vader helmet on it, stuff like that. But it looks good when it's burnt.
Now, Alana, are you thinking painting the cork in order to color it or to as a protectant? Because if you wanted to color the cork, you could thin down the ink and paint with ink and heat set it, and it would be permanent. But if you're thinking about protecting the wood, this is apparently a brand new ink. So I don't need that. And be careful when you're working with ink to keep your hands clean, because if I touch down ink somewhere, it's going to stain. It's going to be there permanently, even though I haven't heat set.
Coloring it.
Okay. Yeah, I think you could, I don't know if you remember that shirt I did where I used ink and kind of watercolored with it. You could use ink thinned down with water and paint the cork.
Cork is excellent. Thermal and acoustic and vibration insulator. Absolutely it is.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Alana, that was from Ken.
I was going to say, thank you for that, Ken.
Alana, I don't know if you remember, but at Bethel Chapel, the floor in the main room was all cork. That was a cork flooring.
Still is. Okay. So I'm using my multi-tool to get into these tight spaces.
Actually, cork is a pretty amazing thing. It's a renewable resource. You don't kill the tree by getting it.
Doesn't it grow fast too?
It grows fast. It's basically the bark on a tree. And you can pull it off. It doesn't damage the tree, and very durable.
Come on. Getting it in there, tight spaces, trying not to make a mess. So again, you don't want to be coming at when you're using ink, you don't want to be coming at it all different directions, because that you can push the ink out. It's a little bit thinner than the paste. So you don't want to be pushing it around, because you may end up with some bleeding if you do. And what did I say? We're going to do black in the words instead of white. Squeegee. And if you don't have a whole drawer full of squeegees, you can just clean off the one you're using. Not a problem. So this is our black velvet instead of the bright white.
You know, Ken, actually, I'm wearing burgundy tonight. Burgundy and gray. But I was wearing my black and red plaid yesterday.
So I'm still crossing my fingers. This works out well heating. But again, this cork is meant to absorb the heat from a hot pan. Now, you don't have to use it as a trivet. You could just use it as a decoration. You could hang it. You could stand it up on a shelf. But I do have a concern, and I will test it out. I do have a little bit of a concern that too much heat will reactivate the ink after I have heat set it. So we'll give that a try and we'll see. So I think I've got that done.
I know on screen printing materials that it's not
it's not a problem.
That in screen printing when we're dealing with plastic.
I think as long as I fully heat set it the first time. Okay. And again, make sure your fingers are clean, especially when you use ink, because I wouldn't be able to get it up. Okay, here we go. Let's hope I don't pull up a lot of cork. Not too bad. Okay, well, I lost a lot of detail in those leaves. I think the cork sucks it in a little bit and maybe sucked it in a little too much, but I think it still looks presentable. What do you think? What is the verdict? Does that look good?
That looks pretty good, baby.
Okay.
You're done good.
Okay, so you've already seen me clean a screen, so I'm not going to do this one. I'm just going to spray this so that ink doesn't dry in the screen. That helps me when I go to clean it. If it's not dried, it just makes my job easier. Now, let me put this away. And we are going to get ready to heat set this. It's important, though, that this is dry before I go to heat set it. So ordinarily, the best practice would be to let it sit out overnight. That's what I did with this. I let this dry overnight, and then I heat set it this morning. So that would be the best practice. But you don't want to sit and we twiddle our thumbs overnight while we're waiting for our ink to dry. So I'm going to dry it with my quick dry tool. And then we will heat set it with my Cricut Easy Press. You don't have to have an Easy Press. You can do it with just a household iron. Okay, so I will say, using cork, the edges are a little blurry. Again, I think because cork is not a flat, smooth surface. So there's a little bit of bleeding. It sucks in the ink. So I wouldn't do it with a very fine, detailed transfer. I think these big bold letters are perfect. So when there's bleeding, it doesn't really affect it. But if everything was small and lacy like these leaves, I think you'd be very disappointed. So I think big bold prints would work best with cork. Again, because that surface is not smooth and completely flat. Having such Facebook problems tonight. I'm sorry. Seems like there's always something. Facebook is always doing something. Similar to inking on burlap? I think so, because burlap isn't smooth, and it really does suck in the ink. And you don't get those crisp edges. Like on this one, I got very crisp edges. Not so much on this one. A little bit more drying. So with our ink, it needs to be heat set. So this I did in the oven. So if you have something like this, or a mug, or glass, something that can take an oven's heat, you put it in a cold oven. You turn the oven on to 350. You wait until it comes up to temperature. Start the timer for 45 minutes. Then turn the oven off. Leave your item in the oven and let the oven cool down. And when the oven's cool, take it out and you are heat set. So cool to cool, and in the middle is 45 minutes at 350. Now this I wouldn't put in the oven. I don't know, probably catch on fire. I don't know. It might toast the edges or something. I don't know. I just wouldn't feel comfortable putting it in the oven. A t-shirt, I'm not going to put in the oven. So we can heat set with an iron. Chicken, yeah. I have also heard if you completely dry it, you can heat set it in the dryer. But it has to be completely dry to start with. Otherwise, you're going to have bits and pieces of ink all over your garment. But you can heat set it in the dryer. You put it on the dryer for high for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and that's supposed to. I have not tried it. It's supposed to. You're supposed to be able to heat set our ink in a dryer. But I like the iron method. Okay, so let me get my heat pad so I don't ruin my thing. And then I'm going to get, this is parchment paper. Yes, Cricket, I hear you. This is parchment paper, not wax paper, parchment paper, or you could use a Teflon sheet if you have one of those, if you do a lot of heat pressing. And again, you could use a regular iron, household iron. If you did that, you would set it to like medium high, and again with the parchment paper, and you would keep that iron moving for about 4 minutes. And that should heat set your ink. Well, I'm going to use my Easy Press because I have it and I can get it all done in one shot. So I have it set at 350, and I don't need any pressure, and I'm going to set it for 30 seconds, and then I will test and see how that turned out. We'll see if our cork melts or what. Because you would pull a pan out of the oven that was cooked at 350, right? And you'd set it down on a hot trivet, and you would expect that trivet. So I am confident in this. Okay, so that was 30 seconds, and it's going to be hot. So I'm going to let it cool off before I touch it. Now I can usually tell, I'm smelling a little burn, but it's not looking burned. You can usually tell that your ink is set when, once it's cooled off, it's no longer tacky. And it is not feeling tacky at all. Well, that is a little bit. But the letters are not feeling tacky. So that's a pretty good sign that my ink is set. So if it's not set, you just repeat the process. So a little bit longer with your iron, or another 20-30 seconds with your Easy Press. Again, you don't need to apply pressure. If you're using like heat transfer vinyl, you have to press down on it. You don't have to do that with this. I didn't have to do any weeding. I didn't have to go look for vinyl, and I didn't have to get transfer paper. And so this is an awesome alternative to heat transfer vinyl. Okay. And now the reason I use this is because if my ink is not dry, I risk getting it on the bottom of my iron. I don't want to do that. This protects my iron. And that still feels, I'm wondering if it's a little bowed down. It's not getting direct heat.
Probably.
Because this
I can see it. I can see
Is
it.
it? Is it?
You printed it on the wrong side. No. Put it on that. That'll
I'll try
flatten it
that.
out.
Give it a little more, or should I put it on even something firmer? Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe it might be a little bit bowed and it's not coming in contact with the heat. So I'm actually going to I am going to put a little pressure on that side just because I want that to flatten. I want it to hit that ink. So how many of you think you could try this project? Pretty easy. $5, $4.99 for 3 trivets if you're near an IKEA, or I'm sure there's other places that sell home goods stores that sell. Okay. Sell Cork trivets. You could even do the little small ones for drink coasters with a smaller design. Okay, so that's feeling a little, it's hot though. Hot, hot, hot. So anyway, that is our project tonight. If you are interested in this transfer, I haven't cleaned it. The Time to Eat transfer, again, it's part of our kitchen collection. It is the A-size transfer in that set. If you type in kitchen, in the comments, my bot will send you a link to our catalog, and actually it will send you a cart link, and you can go back and look in the catalog. And I put in, this time I put in, well, I didn't put in the trivet because we don't sell those, but I put in the transfer. I put in paste packets, not ink. We don't have packets of ink, but I put in these 3 colors of paste packets. So instead of the full jars, if it's something you want to try out, you can try it out with the smaller size packets. So take a look at that if you're interested. Again, type kitchen, and yep, that's not tacky anymore. So I got it. So let me turn off that. Okay, so that was tonight's project. Showed you a single transfer. I used it 2 different ways. So I could use them both in my kitchen at the same time, kind of have a little repeating pattern. So this could be on the table where I put my plate. You can even put a serving plate just over the top of it and that would show through. And then I have a cute little sign to place somewhere. So I hope that there is a time to eat in your near future. And we so appreciate you hanging out with us. If you are not a member of my VIP group, we've got lots of stuff going on over there. I didn't come today. Doggone you, Amazon. Our spinning wheel was supposed to come yesterday. And it said it would be here by 9 p.m. And I looked online at 10 o'clock and it said, it's still coming. It's like, no, it's not. We know our UPS guy. He's not coming. And then this morning it said, oh, it's delayed. You should get it. It didn't come today. Anyway, we are having a spin to win incentive going on. I can't tell you the details here on my public page, but go to the VIP group and see. You might be something you want to get in on, the spin to win, with a real spinning wheel. It'll be so fun. Okay, so we've got specials going on for club members. We've got special events. We've got our craft party for our club members, and all kinds of things. So go visit our VIP page. I find when they say 9 to 10 p.m., it's the next day. Yeah, although we have had 9 p.m. deliveries from our guy. It just depends. Okay. Anyway, VIP, go join if you're not a member. Lots of good stuff going on over there. We'll be on again.
Thanks, Ken. That must have been all he had left. Ken sent 19 stars.
Thank you, Ken.
Hey,
We love it.
Up tonight.
He's
Last
got to pace
We
himself.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, my stars. Anyway.
And you know what? Go on as me, because the last time I went on, it was going to give me 200 free stars.
The one is you.
And I didn't want to give them to the person I was watching. I thought I'd rather give them to me.
Wow.
So go on as me and see if you can give us some stars. Let's see. I don't know. Anyway, so thanks for hanging with us. I don't know if we'll be on tomorrow. So hang out with us. If you get text notifications, we will let you know. If you want text notifications, a couple minutes before we go live, if you sign up, if you text the word live to 208-425-1960, we'll get you signed up for that. And otherwise, just keep watching Facebook. Not sure we're going live tomorrow, but definitely we'll be back on Monday night. And again, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope we're able to give you some ideas, some inspiration to do something creative every day. And today is still today, so if you haven't done anything creative yet, get to getting. Okay, so I'm gonna pose for my
Time to fat. Say goodnight.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, everybody. Nice talking with you.